Right now, we are looking at some first cuts from a mill, a local mill out here. And they get rid of this stuff, and some of them sell them, some of them get rid of it. You see right here, this is about a $20 bundle of these first cuts, and I'll be using these for many different projects. I know a lot of people that actually buy this and burn it in their wood stoves. As you can see, there's some pretty good pieces in there you could use for different projects. I will be using them for different projects. Shalom, this is Fallen Yeshua. Welcome again to the Rock. Out of what we see today, something worse is going to come. I know in the back of our minds we consistently and constantly hope that out of this disaster will come, light at the end of the tunnel. For those of us in this faith, the only thing at the end of this tunnel is more wickedness, more oppression, more things that pertain of and to Hasatan and his kingdom. See, in order to fix things like this, the problem, reaction, solution, they're going to come up with a solution that's going to be taking more rights, taking more from people, and continuing to further the state, the nanny state, the state that takes care of you. They want to be your daddy. And that's what we're going to. We're going to a system that is going to be your daddy. And if you don't play along with the system, you don't go along with the system, then you're not going to be able to do the things that you have normally done. And for those of us in this faith, having our eyes opened to these things could be the thing that saves your very life. There is no beautiful end to this. There is no ending that looks good. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. And the more we pretend that it's not going to hurt, the more we act like this thing is not going to be painful, the more pain you will experience. Coming out of her, being separate, touching not the unclean thing, following Yahweh's commandments, believing Yeshua HaMashiach, preparing and storing boatloads of food, not just food, but things you're going to need. I'm talking about all sorts of things: toothbrushes, toothpaste, toilet paper, medical things, prescriptions, material to mend clothing, to make dresses, to make skirts, to mend jeans, to make shirts. And it's not just the growing food aspect, but it's all the other aspects that come along with it. Water storage. The water storage. Doing those things that you are going to need to do to make it. Yah has always, in his loving kindness, has always showed us first what was going to happen so that we could prepare. I just don't think that many people are aware of when this system is over, when what you see right now, this paradigm, this transition is finished, because we're only going through a transition right now. We're going from a transition from a period of when people have the ability to go to the grocery store, to have the ability to make decisions. We're going from there to a time where you are not going to have that luxury. They are rationing things right now. They're saying you can only have this much. I know people who have tried to buy rice, 10 bags of rice on Walmart.com, and big 20 pounders. And at one point you could. Now it's at a point where you may order 20, but they may only deliver 6 and tell you the rest of your order is delayed. It's amazing what is happening in this world. It's amazing what is happening. But even more amazing is the fact that people can't see what's going on. And and refuse to make any sort of moves that are going to be uncomfortable to them. They would much, much, much rather play within the system and hope that they're going to be able to slide their way through it. I just think of the story of Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. When King said, hey, when the dulcimer and suckbut and trumpets and flutes and tambourines and all the instruments play, you better bow down and worship this idol. And they didn't. Mind you, were they the only ones in that kingdom? Were they the only Israelites in that kingdom at the time? How many do you think bow today? How many do you think are going to bow? How many in this faith are going to bow down? I know it's nice to think that we're all going to stand up, but let's be real with it. How many are going to bend the knee? Because they didn't prepare. How many are going to bend the knee because they didn't foresee the evil? How many are going to bend the knee because they ignored the warnings? Read the story of Maccabees, chapters 1 through 4. Read what happened. Read how many of the wicked Israelites turned to the Greeks and said, we will acquiesce to the laws that you are having. You see, metal is tested. Your metal is tested in times like these. And we find out whether the decisions that we have made are right and wrong when societies and systems collapse. How many are preparing their houses? How many have things stored? How many have protection? It's amazing how many don't even have a protection, haven't been trained to use it, don't know how to deploy it, don't know how to carry it, don't know how to adequately do anything with it. That's amazing. In this faith. So we are coming to a time. We are at a time. I was reading an article of a lady in East Manhattan walking her baby. Her and her 3-month-old baby. Somebody walked up behind her and in the middle of the street and blew her brains out. Wickedness is abounding. Too many people are still wandering around pretending like it's not going to happen to them. Sin is sin, and we were told to separate as much as we can from it. Not live amongst it. Not dibble dabble in it. Not have it next door to us and the neighbor upstairs and the neighbor downstairs, and not that. Hope many are taking heed to the things that we are saying, to the sin that we are seeing, to the changes that are happening. I feel bad for those on the West Coast right now. I feel extremely bad for those on the West Coast. I don't think that they fully understand what is coming, how it's coming, as far as no water. Bless y'all. Shalom.